I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, I'm Shellitronnn, but you can call me Coach, and I'm back out again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a bold berry biscuit. This is the one y'all been waiting on. This is the one I've been hearing about in the comments, DMs on Twitter, getting questions on Instagram. Y'all been asking me for a minute now to do my record prediction for the 2019 season for the Carolina Panthers, and it's finally here. I'm going through all 16 games of this season, and I'm going to predict whether we win or lose these games and try to give a few reasons why that is. I won't be able to go ahead and give, an in-depth look at every single game. I'll do those week by week as the games come up, but I'll touch on these games and talk about things that I think work in our favor or maybe won't work in our favor. But without any further ado, man, let's get right into it. Week 1 coming up very, very soon is the Rams. This is a home game in Charlotte. Rams are coming through, Super Bowl runners-up, which means Super Bowl losers. This is a really tough matchup for me because I've been seeing some Panthers fans, some writers, people on Twitter and whatnot, saying that not only is the team overrated, the Rams, not only are they overrated, but that some of their best players are also overrated. Now, come on now, let's not get ridiculous. We're all Panthers fans here, but let's not get stupid. They're about as good as they're rated. No one has them as the number 1 or even number 2 team in the league. They're probably somewhere around that number 4 to number 7 mark. They're a good team. Let's not get it twisted. They have a really good defense. They have a strong offense. Now, Todd Gurley, we don't know exactly where he's at, but they still have a pretty strong offense and a very strong defense, at least if you look at that front 7. But honestly, the secondary looks good as well. But I think we can win this game. This is going to take a lot, and I think it's going to come down to the last possession. If we have the ball in the fourth quarter, last possession, and it's within a score, I think we can win this game as long as it doesn't go to overtime, because overtime, if you get the ball and you score, it's over. But I think if we have ball, last possession, down only 6, maybe even 7 if Coach Rivera wants to go for 2. I like that about him. I think we can win this game, and it will definitely come down to that last possession. It's going to be a tough one. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. I won't tell you that there's not going to be some hard times in this game. We may have to come back from 14 to 17 to 0. We may have to come back and make a run late in the game, but I think it will happen. Next game is a home game again, this time against the Bucks. And I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This game is an L. I'm not saying we're going to lose this game. I'm saying the scheduling committee for the NFL, this is an L for the whole league. Tell me this. Explain this one to me. Our first game of the season is on the 8th of September, right? Our second game of the season is on the 12th of September? What kind of sense does this make? This makes absolutely 0 sense to me at all. And it's made even worse when we have several guys on our team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, who are coming off injury this season. 2 games in a span of 4 days? Matt Paradis, Darrell Williams, we have Cam, we have Greg Olsen, Ian Thomas was injured. We're going to have Christian McCaffrey getting hella carries, getting hella catches in a span of 4 days? That does not look good. I hate this for player safety. I hate this for, even the Bucks. The main reason this is going to be a win, I know it's the Bucks and we don't have a lot of respect for them or whatever, but any team in this situation would be at a huge disadvantage. The Bucks' first week, their first game is against the Niners, away, in San Francisco. So at Sunday at 4:25, they're playing in San Francisco. They have to fly all the way back to the East Coast and play a game at 8:20 on Thursday. That makes no sense to me. Whether we win or not, I can see someone getting hurt. This isn't me trying to speak it into existence. This is me saying Thursday night games are terrible. Week 3 is an away game versus the Cardinals. They got Kyler Murray. They got the number 1 pick in the draft, but the Cards are still the Cards. Their best player on their team is 48 and a half years old. Larry Fitzgerald, I got love for you. I got mad respect for you, my brother, but this is not going to be your year. I ain't got much to say about the Cardinals, but buckle up. Week 4 against the Texans. This will be a tough matchup. Now, they did just trade away Jadeveon Clowney. That's a big one because when you have J.J. Watt on one side and Clowney on the other side, it ain't going to be a really good day for your quarterback. But Clowney's gone, and it's week 4 of the season, so you never know. J.J. Watt might be hurt by this time. We might get blessed for the one time. But that doesn't change the fact that the offense still looks really great. This is going to be a really good test for our defense because they have Will Fuller. They have arguably one of the most underrated receivers in the game right now, DeAndre Hopkins. I do believe in Deshaun Watson. Now, Lamar Miller did get injured. I think he tore his ACL and he's out for the season. So their run game may not be exactly as tough as you might expect. They do have Duke Johnson. So we'll see how the run game looks. They may be more forced to pass in this game. And I really want to see how our front 7 works. The 3-4, how they respond to that, how they respond to the 4-3. This may be a game where we have to pressure the Texans. I'm not 100% sure if our secondary can handle D-Hop and Will Fuller, and Deshaun Watson is the truth. This might end up being our first L. I think we start off 3-1, but the Texans do catch us away at their spot. We start off 3-1, first loss to the Texans. Now the Jags, they do have Nick Foles, but I'm not really all that sure that their defense is where it needs to be. I'm not really all that sure where the offense is good enough to beat us, to outscore us, and we will be getting some stops. I think this is going to be a game that we actually win by a couple possessions. The next week, the 13th of October, we play the Bucks in London. In London, we're going to see a whole lot of FA Abada promotion going on, I promise you. Coming into this week in the game, I bet you whatever amount you want to bet right now that FA Abada plays the most snaps in the season so far in this game in London. Promise you that. Promise you that. But Gerald McCoy is going to be going hard like he did in week 2. I think this is going to be a really big game. A lot of guys are going to want to show out, look really good. So this is going to be another win for us right here. 5-1, starting off the season. Then we get to the Niners. We'll get to the Niners off of a bye week. We don't have a game on the 20th. This is going to be the 27th of October. And every year, go back 5 years, go back 7 years, go back however far you want to go back. Every year, there's a game on our schedule against a team who should never, ever actually be in a game with us, but we lose to them. This might be the game. I can see this being the one. Off a bye week in San Francisco. Is Jimmy G good at this point? Is he not good at this point? Has he proven himself to be not worth the money? Or is he injured? I don't know, but I have a feeling that this is going to be the one game of the year that we end up losing, but we should never, ever have lost this team ever. I'm actually kind of split here between this game and the next game at home versus the Titans. The Titans are a perpetual 9-7, maybe 10-6 team. They'll be in the wild card game here and there, and that's about it. They're a good, above average, a great mediocre team. They're great for being mediocre. This could be, I'm kind of flip-flopping between whether the Niners or the Titans is going to be that game that we should never lose, but we end up taking our foot off the pedal and they end up surprising us in a game where they should not be in a game with us. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I think it's probably going to be the Niners, more so because it's away on the West Coast and coming off of a bye. I can see us getting a little bit weird there, but I would not be surprised if we actually won that game and then lost to the Titans. Either way, after 8 games, we'll have 2 L's on our schedule. We'll be 6-2 coming into this game against the Packers on the 10th. Now, this is a tough one right here. This is a tough one because Aaron Rodgers might be looking at a really good season right here. Now, the past 2 seasons, he's put up numbers, but he hasn't really been all that impressive. He's been getting injured consistently. I'm not all that sure if he actually has anymore. I mean, we've seen some numbers out of him, but we haven't seen it translate into wins, translate into actual production, like meaningful production for him. I'm not so sure where exactly he's at. New first-year head coach, a lot of stuff going on about them butting heads or whatnot. Is their defense actually good enough this year to keep up with the offense? I'm not sure. But if I'm being honest here, I'm not really sure how I feel about this game from our end as well. I want to say we win this game. But I'm not. I'm less confident about this game than I am about some other games. I'll say we win this game very, very, very closely. But this is one where I can see us, if we don't take them as seriously as we should, I can see us losing this, especially since it's in Green Bay in November. It's not as cold as it will get, but it's going to be pretty damn cold in Green Bay, in Wisconsin. Falcons at home the very next week, 1 p.m. game. We win this one. Honestly, I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. I think we split with both the Falcons and the Saints. So this next game after this one versus the Saints, I think we lose. It's in the Dome. Look, man, it is what it is. I'm not going to get crazy up here, man. I try to keep it objective. It'll probably be a really good split between us. This game in New Orleans could get out of hand. I would not be all that surprised. The next game versus the Redskins, they beat us last year. I was mad. I had a Redskins fan in my ear. We have to get this win, and I think we will. So we're looking at 8-4, headed into week 14 against the Falcons at their spot. And this is a game I think we actually do lose. The Falcons look stronger this year, and if they don't get injured last year, they would have done a lot better than we would have expected. I think we would have done a lot better had we not gotten injured. We have a really strong division here in the NFC South, and it's not any kind of, it doesn't make you any weaker or any worse to admit that we're going to split with the two better teams in our division. Not better than us, but I mean better than, we're the three better teams in the NFC South. And then there's the that other team. It's not an insult to the team to say that we're going to split with these guys. And it may be a little bit crazy to say that we're going to win at home. They win at home. It could be flipped. But the point is we're going to win one and lose one. But against the Seahawks the very next week on the 15th, this is going to be a good game. DK Metcalf, will he be all that great? He's starting week 1. So we'll see how he is by that point. But I 100% believe we'll see DJ, we'll see Curtis, we'll see Jarius, we'll see Ian Thomas by this point actually break out. This will be an offensive game, and both teams will have pretty solid defenses. But I really want to see an offensive struggle in this game, a very high scoring one. I would not be surprised if this one goes to the last possession and both teams are scoring in the upper 30s. It's probably going to be upper 30s to 42, 45. Something like that. I would not be surprised, even with how good both these defenses are. Calling that right now, but I'm also calling a win right here. Us versus the Colts. Now check it out. If Andrew Luck was playing behind this O-line with the weapons, Devin Funchess, I do believe, is going to have a good season, or I would have believed he'd have a good season if it was Andrew Luck. I don't know all that much about Jacoby Brissett, but if it was Luck playing, I would have chalked this as a L. Now, with Jacoby Brissett, I gotta call this a big, it's a big dub. This one's a dub for us. I think we win this game against the Colts. The 22nd, right before Christmas, a really great present for the team, for the fans, for everyone in Panther Nation. This is gonna be an away game, gonna be cold in Indy, but this is gonna be a win for us. In our last game against the Saints, I think we win. Now, week 17, this may or may not be meaningless. I hope this is a game that ends up being for the number 1 spot in the NFC South. This would be the perfect game. Perfect situation. I don't want to have that spot clinched. No. I want by week 17 for it to be us and the Saints vying for that number 1 spot in the division. And I want to beat them in a meaningful game. So looking back at this, I have win against the Rams, win against the Bucks, win against the Cards, loss against the Texans, a win against the Jags, a win against the Bucks again, a loss to either one of the 49ers or Titans. I want to lean more toward a loss to the Titans, but I'm not. The Niners are a really tough team, or they're a really mysterious team, not tough. They're a really mysterious team. They could be really good or bad again this year. I'm not sure. Then we're going off to the Packers, which could be a win or a loss. I said a win. I said a win there. A win against the Falcons at home, a loss against the Saints, a win against the Redskins, a loss against the Falcons when they're at home, a win against the Seahawks, a win against the Colts, and a win against the Saints. So if my public school math is right, that's 12-4. Although I will say we could probably go 11-5 with that Packers game in there. That's the one that's giving me a lot of, I'm not really all that sure about that game. That's the one game I'm not all that confident about. But other than that, I think 12-4, 11-5 is very, very doable for this team, you know, barring injuries and whatnot. If Kemp stay healthy, if our O-line can stay straight, if our defense plays the right way, assuming all that stuff comes down the way we expect it to, We don't have to be number one. We don't need to be number one in all those stats and in rankings and whatnot. As long as we play the way that we expect to play, 12-4 or 11-5 is very doable for this squad. We have the right guys. We have the right scheme on both sides of the ball. And I honestly believe we have the right coach. We have the right kicker. Yes, we have the right kicker to get this done. There should be no reason why the team cannot win more than 10 games in 2019. But I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? What's your record prediction? Do you agree or disagree with the teams that say we win or lose against? What do you think we'll do this season? Who's the breakout stars this year? Stat predictions, all that. Let me know all that in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.